Hey, sports fans, Larry Eater here. This is Conversations with Larry. This is the review of day 9, September 21st, 2025, of the Tokyo 2025 World Outdoor Athletics Championships, brought to you by our friends at Nike. And Nike's feature shoe today is the Vomero Premium. We've seen the Vomero 18. We've seen the Vomero Plus. This baby is the premium. This is the cushiest ride that our friends at the swoosh at Nike Running have. I think it's a fantastic shoe. Why do I like it? Full zoom bag, airbag, baby. This shoe is incredible. Perfect for long run days, perfect for easy days, perfect for people who are putting in a lot of miles and want a little bit of cush. This is what it's all about, man. This is the cushion shoe. I also think it's quite stable. I will be taking it out on the trails. I've taken it out on the roads, and I like that. And I walked around the streets of Chicago in it just a couple weeks ago during the weekend of the Bank of America Chicago Marathon. But this is a fantastic shoe. Again, shows Nike's getting it, coming back into the world of serious running and doing it with a huge splash like Nike should do it, right? Okay, so you can learn about this shoe at NikeRunning.com, but what does Uncle Larry tell you? Get a clean pair of socks. At the end of the day, go to your local running store, a real live running store that carries Nike. Tell them you want to try out the Vomero 18, the Vomero Plus, and the Vomero Premium. Figure out the best shoe for you. While you're at it, check out the Pegasus 41, the Pegasus Plus, and the Pegasus Premium as well. Figure out what works for you. Okay? This is the Vomero Premium. I think I said it enough. Okay, cool. Let's get into our fun geekiness, right? Okay, so let's get the ball rolling. And we got a lot to okay, great. Now, the first result, it was a crazy last evening. It was a very, very humid day. And I got to tell you, yeah, it just it shook up everything. The weather shook up everything. The women's high jump got started, stopped, got started, got stopped. And you had to keep your mind about you. Nikola Olislagers won with a mighty jump of 2 meters. Maria Zadzik from Poland, second, 2 meters, also PB. Yaroslava Mahuchik, world record holder, 197. She tied with Angelina Topic, Dragan Topic's daughter, 197. Seasonal best. Angelina is from Serbia. Yaroslava is from the Ukraine. Maria Zadzik is from Poland. And Nikola Olislagers, remember Nikola? She is the lady who loves to diary on all of her jumps. She writes down stuff about all of her jumps. Her faith is very strong. She's had a great 2025. But it was just insane weather. It again, right, and when it poured, I mean, it was dropping serious cats and dogs. But congratulations to Nikola Olislagers, Maria Zadzik, Yaroslava Mahuchik, and Angelina Topic. Morgan Lake finished seventh. You remember she just hit 2 meters over at Zurich. So I think she'll end up winning a world championship or Olympic medal. I have a lot of confidence in Morgan Lake. Okay, that's the high jump. Let me just get us to the next event. It was a lot of finals, kids, in that last day. I really, when I go to a world championships, I about the time that it's ending is when you kind of get unjet lagged and you're really, rocking and rolling. So this is the 9th of the day 9, September 21st, 2025. We had decathlon in the morning. We had the 110 hurdles, the discus throw, and the pole vault in the deck. So we just talked about the women's high jump. Now we're going to get to one of the highlights of the entire meet. The women's 800. My gosh, did that event deliver? Sixth place was 156.17. That was Audrey Wirral from Switzerland. Fifth place, Sage Herta Klecker from the U.S. 155.89 PB, number 3 now U.S. all time. Sarah Mora from Kenya, 155.74. I think she's related to Mary Mora, but I've heard from somebody that she's sister and they're not related. But Mary Mora was back in 7th, 157.10. She had a crazy time. It came down to Keely Hodgson, Georgia Hunter Bell, and Lillian Odira. Keely was leading with 100 meters to go. Georgia's fighting her, and coming up from behind is Lilia Odira, who takes the win in 154.62, championship record, breaking the record of Jarmila Kratovilova from 1983, silver medal. Georgia Hunter Bell, 154.90 PB. Keely Hodgkinson, who hadn't run for 376 days until she ran in August. 154.91 for the bronze. What? I mean, that race was incredible. Something for all the fans, right? And Keely's not going to win Keely is an incredibly talented athlete, but the quality of the women's 800 is such that if you're not all there right on, you are going to have some issues, right? We got the men's 5,000, and this race delivered. The 10,000 was pretty weird too, right? Because it went out pretty pedestrian, and it came down to the last 100 meters, and Jimmy Gressier from France just walloped him, right? Went by Yomif Kajelcha, and Andreas Almgren held on for the bronze. Well, this one was interesting. It was fast. It was pretty damn fast. Let's see, was it to be in the top 6? You had to run, hell, to be in the top 10. Jakob Ingebrigtsen ran 13:02 and was in 10th place. Jan Schrub, France, 13:01, 9th place. Grant Fisher, 8th place, 13.79. Birhanu Balu, 13.55 and 7th. Nico Young, 6th, 13.07. Biniam Mahari, 10,000 meter star, the guy who won it 12:59.95. And he was in 5th place. Kai Robinson from Australia via Stanford, right, for our Stanford via Australia. 12:59.6, pretty impressive for Kai. The medals were really interesting. Jimmy Gressier, 12:59.33 for the bronze. Isaac Kameli, Belgium, 12:58.78, seasonal best silver. Coming from 12th to 1st, Cole Hocker. Yes, Cole Hocker. Remember, he got DQ'd in the 1500. I thought that was kind of bush league. But, other people kicked my butt over it and said, whoa, he pushed people around. Well, as I remember from the 1956, no, I wasn't there. That was 2 years before I was born. But the 1956 steeple, one of a Soviet coach said, you don't get grades for your form. People get knocked around, deal with it, right? Anyway, well, and, translated. But Cole Hocker, 5,000. Now, remember, last guy to win, that was Bernard Lagat, 2007, 1,500 and 5,000. The man who came up with the term Mutumbo on the shoes. Got to look at our video. But congratulations to Cole Hocker. I was so happy for him. What a performance. He redeemed himself to himself. I mean, he had high standards. He wanted to win the 1,500 and the 5,000. And I think if he'd have been there, I think he could have medaled in the 1,500. I think it was just kind of Isaac Nadir's journey, right? So anyway, Cole Hocker, gold. Isaac Kameli, silver. Jimmy Gressier, bronze. Pretty darn impressive. Okay. The discus throw got caught in the rain and got moved, so we're going to finish that in the last one. But we're going to get to the men's 4x4. Oh my gosh, did that event deliver? So I told you in the 400 that Mr. Bayapu Nadori told me that he goes, "You're from the U.S., aren't you?" And I go, "Yeah." He says, Botswana is going to win the 4x4. We're going to beat the U.S. And they did. It was an incredible race. It was close and exciting from the beginning. Rai Benjamin, after his gold medal in the 400 hurdles, he held off Letsili Tebogo in Paris last year. Well, Busang Colin Kebenashipi, the gold medalist from the 4x4, was not going to let that happen. And he just edged Rai Benjamin, 257.76 to 257.83. And then South Africa, Wade van der Kerk had the third leg and just blew everybody away, 257.83. So gold, 257.76 for Botswana. Silver, 257.83 for U.S. Bronze, 257.83 for South Africa. Belgium, 259.48. And Alexander Doom was in that. Jonathan Sakur, Robin van der Beben, and Daniel Seegers. The Belgian team was pretty impressive. Qatar was fifth, man. Wow. That was kind of interesting. Okay. Now, I call it Qatar and they call it Qatar. I destroy, as one of my buddies from France said, Larry, you can destroy the English language too. I said, I thank you. Okay. So now the battle on the men's 4x4 is a little different in the women's. U.S. dominated, 3:16.61 championship record. Isabella Whitaker, Lena Irby Jackson, Aliyah Butler, Sydney McLaughlin Levrone, boom, Dynamo Hum, 3:16.61. Second place, Jamaica, Dejana Oakley, Stacey Ann Williams, Andrea Knight, Nikisha Price, 3:19.25. Third, the Netherlands, Eveline Salberg, Lieke Klaver, Lazine DeWitt, Femke Bol, 3:20.18 seasonal best. Fourth, Naomi Vanderbroek, Imke Verveit, Camille Laus, and Helena Poinet, 3:22.15. But it was all about the U.S., 3:16. Pretty impressive. And it was raining cats and dogs, kids. Cats and dogs, and maybe even flying carp, right? Okay, so we're still going. We're still going. It's getting exciting, isn't it? Okay, so the last day always has some fun stuff. So we just did that. We're going to do Leo the German. Leo Neugebauer won with 8,804 points. The man who's won NCAA twice. Pretty impressive. Let's give you 1080 for the 100, 762 for the long jump, 1670 for the shot put, 199 for the high jump, 4827 for the 400, 1480 for the 110 hurdles, 5615 for the discus throw, 510 for the pole vault, 6434 for the javelin, and 431.89 for the 1500. Second place, Aiden Owens Delerm, Puerto Rico, 87.84. Third place, Kyle Garland, who was leading up until event 8, 87.03. Fourth place, Nicholas Call, the 2019 world champion. When I interviewed Nicholas in Doha in 2019, he said, Nicholas, who's your hero in the decathlon? And he said, he's right behind you. And I turned around, and it was the only Ashton Eaton, smiling. Fifth place was Johannes Erm. And sixth was Heath Baldwin. Great decathlon. I will go into much more depth, and I'm going to do a big story on it still, too, because that's what I do, right? I don't write about a story until it's time. Okay, let's get going. We got two relays and a discus throw. Can we do it? Yeah, we can do it. The women's. It was raining. More than cats and dogs. Cats and dogs and small oxen. Tight. USA, 41.75. Jamaica, 41.79. Germany, 41.87. The 4x1, the sprint relay, is always about the handoffs. Baby, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, Twinisha Terry, Kayla White, Sha'Carri Richardson, 41.75. Shelly Ann Fraser Price, Tina Clayton, Joanelle Smith, 41.79. Germany, Sina Mayer, Rebecca Haas, Sophia Unk, and Gina Lukenkemper, the 2022 European champion, 41.87. Britain, Dean Asher Smith, Amy Hunt, Des Henry and Daryl Nata, 4207. A spectacular 4x1 for the women. And now we're getting down to it. This is the last running event of the championships. You know, my stomach gets always restless when the U.S. men run the 4x1, not because they're bad or anything. It's because of all the politics. It just gets weird. It was raining. Everything could have gone wrong, but they focused. U.S. won in 37:29, Canada 37:55, the Netherlands 37:81. Christian Coleman to Kenny Bednarek to Courtney Lindsay to Noah Lyles, 37:29. Aaron Brown to Jerome Blake to Brendan Rodney to Andre DeGrasse, 37:55. Nisiak Ekpo, Tamir Burnett, Zavi Ajok, and Elvis Afrifa, 37:81 national record for the Netherlands. Fourth place, Ghana, Ibrahim Fusini, Benjamin Azamati, Joseph Paul Amoa, Abdul Rashid Saminu, 37:93. What a spectacular set of relays. And the U.S. performed, although they had some, we'll talk about that 4x4 because they barely got into that one. That was a whole different story. So now, final event. The way that the championships ended, you have Mikola Selekna, who broke the world record earlier this year in Oklahoma, destroyed it. He's leading with one throw to go. Daniel Stahl, who's been having an off and on season, the Swede, the man I walked up to in Doha in 2023 and said, Daniel, I've worshipped you from afar. I'm not a stalker. I'm just an American. He laughed and he shook my hand. Pretty good guy, right? Anyway, Daniel Stahl's got a great sense of humor. Well, Daniel Stahl is one big meat thrower, 70.47 for a seasonal best. Sweden went crazy. Every Swede, even the reindeer, were watching the discus throw as Daniel Stahl won. Miklos Selekna tried as he might, silver medal, 67.84. Does have the family record. Beat his dad, Virgilius Selekna. In Samoa, Alex Rose, first medal for U.S. Samoa, 66.96. Fourth place, Matthew Denny, who fell down, tried everything. The Aussie class act, always a class act, 65.57. Mario Alberto Diaz, Cuba, 64.71. And Andreas Gudzis, Lithuania, 63.43. And, oh my gosh, another Alekna, Martinez Alekna, 63.34. This World Championships, how much did I love it? I loved it immensely, incredibly. It was incredible. I loved that I found the perfect ramen. I loved that there was 56 to 58,000 people every day. I loved that we had hot weather, we had rainy weather, we had great performances. I loved we had surprises. I loved I got to see 1,000 of my fellow media people. I loved that I got to meet some of the new media people. I loved the LOC. I loved the organizing folks. The sponsors did a great job. ASICS, TDK, oh my gosh. ASICS put so much into this meet, taking care of the officials, taking care of athletes, doing some really cool stuff. Thank you to my friends at Nike for getting us over there. And we got to go to the athlete house, and I have a couple cool shirts, and I'll show those off. I'll wear those in New York, okay? But this is day 9. This is Conversations with Larry, review of the final day. Thanks to my buddy Mike Deering, who produces, edits, curates, and cajoles me. He's done this since 2010 when he, Adam, and AJ founded the Shoe Addicts. And Mike still puts up with me, and he hasn't, put a pillow over my head. But I have to go. We're going to go see our granddaughter at her literary event for the Muse. It's the magazine at UW-Whitewater. So thank you again for watching Conversations with Larry. Thanks again to our friends at Nike. This is the shoe of the night. This is the Vomero Premium. Check it out. Go to your local running store, say, I need this shoe. Nike, and check it out at NikeRunning.com. And thanks again. And what do I always say? Run, jump, and throw. Tell someone you love them. Do a random act of kindness. This was my 15th World Outdoor Championships. I loved it. I was a little worried. I had to have heart surgery about 5 days before I went. I'll tell you that story later. But ticker's good. Doctors like me. And I stayed quiet for 90 minutes, which is a world record for me. Okay? So talk to you soon.